Always Topsham Select Board meeting to order October 19, 2023 from the Donald A. Russell Meeting Room. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, Patty, would you call the roll?
David Douglas.
Yeah.
Marie Brilliant.
She's excused.
Ruth Lyons.
Haven't heard a word on excuse.
Matt Nixon.
Present.
Roland Tubbs.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you, Patty. Town managers report.
Hey, welcome everyone. The absentee ballots for the November 7th election are available in the tax clerk office at Town Hall until Thursday, November 2nd. And the election will take place at Mount Ararat High School Gymnasium on November 7th, 2023 from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. All the news from the clerk's office, new dog licenses will be available in the clerk's office and online. Please visit the town's website for more information. Late fee will be imposed if licenses are renewed after January 31st of next year. The police department hired Nancy Petre, a Topsham resident, to fill the position of records clerk, and we're excited to have Nancy as part of our team. And it's been her first week here, and everybody's pretty happy with Nancy being there, so great addition to the team. And Topsham now has 3 open positions to fill and hopefully get them filled soon. If anyone is interested in applying for the positions of assistant tax clerk, public works driver, or police officer, please visit the town's website for more information and application instructions. That's all I have.
Any questions? How about the police department never puts a post out again saying they're full of staff? The last 2 times that happened, it's gone back.
You were saying that before they read.
Update Market Basket, Topsham Fair Mall Road. We have a representative from Crooker Construction.
No, Crooker Construction does not have a representative here. We included an update from the lead engineer in the packet. It's also on the website for people to view. In short, they're finishing up right now. We have to have the public works director here to answer specific questions. He attended a meeting today talking about where they are. I will say, as part of their update, they've had a recent delay with utilities being put in. That has been completed, and they will be installing curbing and then move to the concrete work and sidewalks. This will be about a month in progress. They had proposed that they open up early next week. However, we still have some things to work out with them in terms of liability, safety, whether it be pedestrian cars, lack of signage, and lines in the pavement. So we'll probably have an update at the next meeting, or I'll send an email out and post it on the website to let everybody know when that road will be open. But until we meet with Crooker leadership, we don't have an answer to it.
Update on the fire department community paramedic program. Chris McLaughlin, chief, and Elizabeth Reeves, community paramedic.
Thank you. I'm Chris McLaughlin, fire chief. Real quick, I'll do a department update before I bring Liz up. We hired 5 full-timers in July. We had it posted for about a month. We had 8 applicants or 9. I can't remember. I would have hired all 8 or 9. So we were lucky to hire them within a month's time, and they were on board in August. All with lots of experience, highly trained. So we lucked out there. Hired 8 of the 10 per diems this last 2 months. We're still running into per diems getting forced to their full-time jobs. Nothing you can do about it. But we are up to about a staff of 50, which is where we try to maintain. So we're filling the schedule for the fall. Like if I look to next week, it's full. It's just the last minute call outs that we have a hard time filling, but we're doing pretty good there. So that's good. All the per diems are fitting right in. We are teaching a lot of CPR still. I actually just taught 10 students last weekend from Waterville, from a daycare in Waterville. So we're one of the only ones that actually teach CPR and make it easy. Yeah, come visit us, give us a date and we'll teach your class. So we're still, I think we have 2 more daycares in Topsham to do coming right up. So another 20 students or so. Amanda Downing is in all the schools this week doing fire prevention. It's the 2nd year that we've been to the elementary schools. We're doing K through 2. So she just finished up Woodside today actually. So that's still going really well. I'm glad we're in the schools. The biggest reason I'm here is to update you on the CP program. We have to give a quarterly report as part of our grant contract. I gave that report to the state. They've already paid us for the first quarter, so all of our expenses for that first 3 months have already been paid and reimbursed, so that process went really well. It's been really well received. The patients that Liz is taking care of they're super happy to have the service. So what I'm gonna do, I gave you a packet, you can see the numbers and statistics. The first 3 or 4 weeks were just kind of talking to doctors' offices, hospitals, but she can kind of give a report on where Topsham as a whole, in general, the health issues that we're seeing in town. So I'll let her come up and explain that.
Hello. I don't know if you guys have any specific questions, if you had a chance to look at what he gave you. Feel free, but as he said, I gotta tell you, everybody's happy that this is going on, and there's different avenues how we get patients. Initially, we thought it would just be doctors getting patients thinking, hey, they need a little extra help, why don't you take care of them? But what we've after finding is crews, who's ever working a rescue, who sees patients more than 2 or 3 times, we start looking a little more closely, what's going on, what can we do to make this better, that why are they getting repeat visits to the ER, is there something we can do as an intervention to either get them referrals, or is it something as a home safety issue, or do they need additional care in their home? That's gonna be keep them from going to the ER so many times. So we've been able to sort of, it's almost like a reverse referral. I'll reach out to the doctor, find out who their primary care is, and say, here, this is what we're finding with this person, would you like them to be part of the program? And 10 out of 10, it's yes, please do. And so some people I go and just take blood pressures. There's some situations where I've gone and done labs because it's just safer for the person to stay at home, they're homebound, or they just don't have transportation. There's others that needed social services. I was kind of surprised how much is social services. So just kind of get people connected with either, food insecurity, or again, they need hands-on medical assistance and help at home. And another one that I found has been fantastic intervention is getting the families involved, because a lot of older people, their kids and family don't get a chance to visit them as often as they like and see what's going on and how they're living. And then they're not quite sure how they manage day to day. So either we're helping them find a place to live that's safer for them, or really just getting family in there to say, okay, I'm gonna stay with them so many days a week, or we're gonna get in-home care for them. So there's been a range of avenues for assistance that we've been able to give them. So it's been fantastic.
The only question I saw out of it, you had a report and it listed addresses. Is it common from the other programs that have run it that because it's several of them that are repeated, once a week, ongoing. Is that kind of common how other programs that have been up and running that you see, especially now until it gets really known, you're gonna see the same people repeatedly?
Well, again, like I said, some people, the docs just want us to go in and make sure that they're, blood pressure checks, sometimes it's just that, and just making sure their medications are being taken appropriately. So it's something we call medication reconciliation. So I will actually help them fill, just their little medication jars for the week, even that, or making sure they're getting the medications they're supposed to. So there are some repeats like that. There's another patient that I take to meetings every week because he just has no way to get there, and we're just trying to help him get, in where he is in his care. He just needs a little extra assistance. So there are definitely repeats. Yeah.
The meeting, it's an EMS sort of thing?
And I'm sorry,
The meeting, the one
The
that you
meeting.
take to a meeting is in the EMS, because
Healthcare.
yes, healthcare related. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and that's, no, we're not.
well, yeah,
I
it
get
just,
what you're saying, but.
because
no.
I can see people taking big advantage of this. It's a great program, but eventually the human and everybody comes out.
No, and I gotta tell you, people, we're very forthright with people that, listen, this is really medically driven kind of a thing. But the social services part is sometimes I redirect them to other sources. Like I was talking to someone at People Plus today that does a lot of transportation for people. Because I'm trying to set up a couple of people that called specifically for that. And I said, hey, we're not necessarily giving people rides, but I can certainly help you find an alternative. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Any questions?
Did you find any of these patients rehashed at first and now they love you?
They've been really welcoming. Yeah, I've had patients that like, I don't need any help, I'm good. I've had a couple of those, but I've gone by and knocked on the door and said, hey, and just introduced myself anyway, just to make sure that they're just not being shy or reticent to having someone in their home. Because that's a problem we see too sometimes, and we don't find out that they've had difficult living conditions until we get called by a neighbor or family member that's concerned about them. So it's just like any call we get for 911. We try to get eyes on the person associated with the call and make sure that they're safe.
Have you had any word of mouth referrals?
Yes, we have.
And is, in that process, do you just contact them directly, or you have to talk to medical professional?
I always talk to the person themselves directly and explain the program to them, and because I have to find out from their primary care. You know, 'cause I'm ultimately answering to a doctor, so I have to get the referral from the doctor, so I always reach out to the primary care. It's never just between me and the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Madam, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
I had a call from one of our citizens about 9 o'clock one night at Wits End because they were trying to help out a neighbor, and the neighbor's significant other was starting with dementia and also having a lot of physical issues. And they didn't know where to turn, and they were trying to protect both the family and this person, and ended up making the referral to Elizabeth, and now the person's in a home. She was able to help get all the social services together, and it definitely helped protect this person from harm, and the family, save the family a lot of frustration with this. So she did a great job on that.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
Any questions?
Good job, without saying you're full staff.
Actually, I picked up on that.
Just keep that quiet.
Yeah.
Keep it quiet. Update Public Works Department, Dennis Cox, Director.
Good evening, Dennis Cox, Topsham Public Works. Just an FYI, we're currently down here.
I knew.
I'll put that out there and have an applicant. Public Works projects, later on this summer and fall, a big one that we get through is, Abenaki and Secaucus. We put in a couple of new catch basins and several hundred feet of new storm drain pipe up there and did some other drainage work. There were several residents in an area there that had some water issues and concerns. The wet summers really brought some of these to the forefront, and that's why we're up in that neighborhood. This fall, we're working on a long-term project on West Merrill Road. There's some ditching work that needs to be done out there, and some other drainage work we'll be doing in preparation for paving in the spring on that road. So it's similar like we talked about in the past, and we're doing some of the prep work now for next summer, next spring's paving work. It's an ongoing issue in the fall we take on for cleaning all our storm drains. The catch basins, there's over 1,000 of them in town. And it's important to get those cleaned out so that the basins are clean, they act like a sump, so the sand settles in those and not in the piping and the post pipe. The other thing we're doing right now and into the fall, as the construction season allows us until it cools off, is the Bay Park area. We're finishing off some drainage work there before it gets completed on paving work. Workers been in, they've shimmed everything, and we'll be coming back probably in the spring, because I don't anticipate enough time just in the fall here to put the finish hot top on. But the folks are wondering, it's not hit and miss on corners and things like that. It's shimming the road to bring the crown back and the shape of the road, and then we'll come back to blacktop from edge of road to edge of road. Update on Market Basket, the traffic circle is being prepped for pavement and should be getting paid in the next few days. And then they'll be coming up with a plan for opening that up. It's my understanding from a meeting this afternoon that it'll be open weekends and on and off type of deal, with construction going for another month or so during the weekdays. There's curbing work, there's sidewalk work, things like that that've got to be done. So it'll be open for sure on weekends and evenings, but it may be a few days after it's paved before that can happen, because there's some safety issues and concerns of the town that have got to be dealt with. It's great to say we're going to open up a road, but we've got to deal with the pedestrian traffic as well. Bicycles, quite often when we say the road's open, pedestrian traffic comes, the bicycles do, and there's no alternative for them in that section. So we want to make sure we get signage up and communicate that. The Frankwood Bridge, there's some loose narrative on the whiteboard signs you see about next week. That's for their MDOT's routine, what's turned into a routine 6-month inspection of the existing bridge. That's what that's for. It's not a closure or a detour because of construction on the new bridge. It's for the inspection of the existing bridge for a few days. It's my understanding that they'll be going to probably one-way traffic, first one way, then the other, as they do the respective side of the bridge for the inspection project. Did get a notification, just to share with you folks that DOT is going to do a mill and overlay on 196 from approximately 295 to our Main Street. Which would be great because you're kind of familiar, we've seen work on both ends, but not through our business district, our urban area. So that's coming next year, appears right now with their plans. And a couple of selectmen have asked questions and some of the townspeople have about the signal light project at Elm and Main Street. That's almost done. They've got some things they're gonna come back and revisit in regards to the handicap push buttons and the tree that's in the way for visibility on that right-hand curb lane signal light head that's being blocked by some tree branches. That needs to be dealt with. So, with those two minor things, we should be in good shape at that intersection with that project, and it's great to have that light updated. That's really all I have for tonight, but I welcome to answer any questions like that.
Dennis, who was it that built that, well, you weren't here, but who, if you recall, who was it that built Topsham Fair Mall Road, the back entrance there?
I believe Crookers was involved in that road coming in from
Winter Street.
Yeah.
So they would have known that ledge was there because they removed ledge to go through the first time, so we get a spring.
I can't say. I think they probably did. I think they may have known there was ledge there, Dave, but I'm not sure if they understood the volume of ledge. Some of it appeared out of the ground, and then what's in the ground, they don't know until they start excavating. But, yeah, there was ledge out of the ground without a doubt in that area. And there is on another lot that's being proposed to be developed.
Any questions? Thank you.
Super, thank you.
Any public comment? Anyone have correspondence? Consent calendar approval of minutes, regular select board meeting, October 5, 2023. So moved. Who? Second. Seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. New business. 2390, consideration any appropriate action on approval of an additional streetlight request. Dennis?
Good evening. Had a request from a resident at number 7 Mayflower asking about a new streetlight being installed at the intersection of Trillion and Mayflower. Our policy that we follow with that includes comments from the police chief and the fire chief. I passed them along to you folks as well. Myself and the other two department heads acknowledge the request and think it's worthy of a light. I wanted to share with you, now that we own the lights, there's a lot more expense on our back, on our responsibilities for replacing, for putting up that new light. In the tune of close to $4,000 to $5,000 for that light. We'll have to get CMP to look at the pole, possibly set up a transformer on that pole before we can then have a contractor come in and put up a new arm and light, so, and purchase that light.
So CMP doesn't have to run another line or anything for that, right?
No, but they'll probably put a transformer in to bring the power down to that light.
So,
Well, there's a high voltage line up there that has to be brought down to like 110 instead of carrying on voltage right here.
any questions about it?
Policy itself.
Yep.
Do you recall when this was created?
No, it looks like it's typewritten.
It was probably, right around the year 2000-ish. Dennis had in his files, we found the book on that happened, but we don't know when it was approved or who it was approved by. So, we're just gonna continue with the practice until we update this policy.
It's the original one.
This seems a little overkill. To bring us into the conversation.
Oh, I mean,
Now, anyway, maybe not, excuse me, maybe not now, given what Dennis just mentioned in terms of the cost, but prior to this, seems like something that should be up to the chief and both chiefs. I mean, they know better than us, yeah, we would necessarily. But it doesn't matter, because policy is in existence now.
I guess I mean, not that I have any heartburn, one way or the other on this, but there's no sidewalks
Or not.
and there's 100 dark intersections in town, right? And I understand where we can simply say for safety reasons. I would say we could do that at all 100 intersections if someone requested. What's the specific safety reasons other than dark, I guess?
It would be a residential area with folks out walking and without sidewalks.
Yeah.
It's an intersection between two roads that, like today with our standards, we ask for a signal, a street light to be installed where we have roads and the developments and things like that going on now. So because it's like a T intersection there, it seems appropriate to have a light there for cars that are approaching that intersection to see each other a little bit better for visibility.
You had something, so I'm good. You had something, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyone else got questions? Make a motion to approve the street light, intersection of Trillium and Mayflower, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Motion seconded. All in favor? All in favor? Go back, I thought I grabbed a piece of paper here. I didn't.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. 2391, consideration and appropriate action to hold a public hearing at Mount Airy High School Forum Room on November 2, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. on an amendment to 25 Hackmatack Road Affordable Housing Tax Increment Financing District.
Town of Topsham designated the Affordable Housing Municipal Development and Tax Increment Financing TIF back in June of 21. Maine State Housing Authority approved for that, and we created a TIF district. Since then, there's been some funding issues and a few things with the housing project. It's a 38-unit project that's going to be on a little over 8 acres of land. Recently, they've come across the CDBG fund that the select board is aware of, in additional funding, so it's going to get started soon. So with that being said, since they're not developing on the entire 8 acres, we'd like to reduce the size of that district by a little over 2.7 acres. That would allow future development on the undeveloped portion of that. Maybe for future housing, potentially a future TIF district, something in the future thing. So what we're looking for is for this first amendment to this TIF is to decrease the size by about 2.7 acres. Win-win for with the housing district and Town of Topsham as we look into it.
What is it that drives that this must be approved now in a special town meeting rather than normal town meeting in May?
It's really a complicated process to finance these. These actually end up getting sold to private investors who are buying tax credits. And they have got their final estimates and they're trying to get it all out to get it actually signed on, get the investors in, so they're ready to construct as soon as possible. So if we waited till May, we'd be delaying the construction for them by maybe 6 months, and all the costs go up again, and they've been trying to cobble things together all along the way.
So what does this specifically trigger though?
This does two things for them. One is they're gonna sell this land to a related entity to hold, which gives them another couple $100,000 to help make it work. And then the second thing it does is if we leave this in the TIF, they probably were almost guaranteed we could never get another TIF for that remaining land. So if 5 years from now, Topsham Housing Authority wants to be able to do another affordable housing project, we could have a new TIF on the 2.38 acres, and they would help finance a new one. But if it's part of this TIF, then the state's not gonna allow it. They did it once with Wixom Highlands, but it'd be very unlikely that they'd let another TIF use this land. So it gives them immediate funding so they can keep this going and actually get it off the ground. And it preserves an ability to do another housing project with our meeting land.
That's what I was looking for. That hadn't been said. It's been said to us, but it hadn't been said to the general public of why this needs to be driven.
I'm happy to say it, and we'll expect to have John Hodge at the meeting on the 2nd too. We can give him more detail on all the financing of it and stuff.
Questions?
Motion,
Oh,
unless you have a question.
no, I don't.
You good?
And
Cool. I propose that we set a public hearing, or excuse me, I move that we set a public hearing at a select board meeting at 6:30 PM, November 2nd, 2023 at the Mount Ara High School Forum Room.
second. Motion is seconded. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3 unanimous. 2392, consideration any appropriate action to approve special town meeting warrant for November 2nd, 2023.
Yeah, highlight the articles.
Yeah, I guess if this is the only public reading we're gonna have of this for this board.
Thank you. Included within the package, it's also on the website, is a summary of the warrant as well as the warrant itself. So I'll go with the summary. So looking for 4 articles in this particular warrant to be approved by the town of Topsham. The first one is the town purchasing land adjacent to the solid waste facility. This past year, an opportunity to purchase approximately 15 acres of land adjacent to the solid waste facility at an appraised value of $157,000 was presented to management. We know that over the last few years, probably longer than that, we've had issues with current properties that actually exist along Townsend Way, which the town is liable for their water treatment systems as a result of some of the contamination, presumably from the solid waste facility. This purchase would provide, actually would mitigate the risk of future development, potential liability in this area next to the facility. So the town won't be liable for treatment of any other treatment systems if houses were to be built. And, some side benefits to this as well is the current solid waste facility is actually a recreational retreat for many people. So this is going to provide an additional 15 acres at least adjacent to that. So any future purposing of a recreational area would benefit the town as well. So with this, after the appraisal, we brought this to the select board. Last meeting to go ahead with an agreement to be signed, but it wouldn't come into effect until approved at town meeting by the townspeople. So in summary, about 15 acres for $157,000, which is in solid waste facility for the first article. Summarize the second article, which is Article 3 in the draft warrant that you have in the packet, is what we just discussed, is decreasing area size of the 25 Hackmatack TIF district, as described by myself and Assistant Town Manager Waltz. And regarding the 2 zoning amendments that are in the draft warrant, the planning board recently held a public hearing on both of those this past Tuesday, October 17th. Our planning and codes director, Julie Urban's present here today to ask him specific questions. But in summary, we have 2. One's a sign ordinance amendment. This amendment is to revise the sign ordinance to allow for 400 square feet of maximum signage for businesses in the commercial sign district with a footprint of 60,000 square feet or greater. This is an increase over the current 200 square feet, which will remain the maximum for businesses with a footprint of less than 60,000 square feet. What we have printed in front of you is a rendering of the market basket. This was one of the drivers for taking a look at this. With our current ordinance, there wouldn't be really any signage that you can see from the road. And so this is actually less than what they had requested before we actually took a look at this and started working with the planning board to see what we could do. And the last article is open space in lieu of amendment. This is a revision of the open space fee in lieu calculation. With multifamily developments on the rise, the planning board felt it was necessary to amend the fee structure so that fee in lieu can be applied equally to all residential developments. The existing formula utilizes the assessment of an acre of single-family residential land, not taking multifamily development into consideration. It also uses number of units as a determining factor in the fee, requiring the same fee for 1-bedroom apartment as it would a 5-bedroom single-family home. The new fee structure does away with the formula and uses a flat per bedroom fee, which can be applied to single-family multifamily subdivisions alike at the same time of building permit application. We saw this recently with the fee with a proposed housing project on Park Drive near Goodwill, where this particular fee was so much that the project probably could not have happened, wouldn't have happened. So the planning board as well as the planning department came to a solution for that developer. And as a result, going back to take a look at what we can do with the code here to consider dense housing and making it affordable for developers to build, units that to be affordable housing essentially. If you have any questions with the summary, any of the articles, Chair, do you want me to read each of the articles?
No, I have a state back.
Just a question. Well, two actually. For the last one, the open space fee. Reading this, so the current formula provides the fee is based on same fee for a one-bedroom apartment as it would for 5-bedroom single-family home. The new fee is based on bedroom. Why would it be more expensive for someone over on Park Drive to put in? How does it make it cheaper for more dense housing development? Seems like it makes it the same as other houses.
Hi, Julie Erdman, Planning Director. So for the Park Drive project, they were initially assessed a fee of over $97,000 because it was per unit rather than per bedroom. They have one bedroom apartments mostly over there. So because they have 92 bedrooms total, 80 units. With single family subdivisions, generally the fee was a lot lower because there's only, say, near 12 lots as opposed to 80 lots. So they were paying per single family home. So the fee overall would be much lower.
So if we're looking at, like, say, the developer wants to do 23-bedroom homes, it'll still be considerably more expensive than what the old fee was.
Correct.
Okay.
But they can pay it at building permit for each individual home, so it won't be, they won't have to pay the fee up front like they do now.
But this, I mean, to me, this really just looks like a way to make a single bedroom home more easily built. Which I'm sure you can probably sell it from the developer's point of view, but it doesn't really help with the housing issue that we're currently facing in terms of, in fact, it seems to sort of penalize you if you make a house with more bedrooms, than just one.
What it should be doing is with single family residential development out in the rural areas, really, they should be setting aside land for open space rather than paying that in lieu fee.
Mhm.
So it's kind of discouraging them
Okay,
from paying.
all right. Still doesn't seem like 100% sense to me, but, I'm sure the planning board has got many alternatives. Which brings me to my other question, for the side ordinance, what alternatives did the planning board bring up, if any? So right now, we're talking about anything that's over 60,000 square feet, can, have a larger sign. So was there any discussion about maybe instead of using store size, like distance from the road, because that seems to be like.
There was discussion about distance from the road, but the ordinance encourages fronting buildings on the street. So we didn't want to.
Incentivize larger signs, but,
Exactly.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough, yeah, that's not an easy problem, or easy not to crack there.
Mhm.
That's all I got. Do you have a statement?
Yeah, I have it. I mean, I despise special town meetings to get things done. And I really hate when we go about it the way we're going about it, that we're gonna hold a selectmen's meeting at a sterile school to push through a public hearing. And although I know we're following the rules, the letter of the law in the town of Topsham, when we have a warrant, we have a public hearing prior to that warrant. For all these items, you recall every May, we sit here and we have a public hearing for the entire warrant. Anyone can come in and speak and anyone can come in and do it. That's not happening. We're following exactly what you have to do, but that's just not the way we do things here. I'm certainly not a fan of this. It certainly does not, although everything here is above board and is honest, it certainly lends itself to not looking in that manner, especially when we change how we do things. Article 2 is to approve the acquisition of the property for $157,000. So it's asking the taxpayers to spend money, correct? So normally we have the finance committee chime in on financial items. I think it's written that they just review the budget so we're following the rule. So nobody can say we're not doing something, but anytime we have warrant items that involve monetary items, we have the finance committee involved. And because this is all being pushed and rushed to be delivered and done so quickly, we're not doing things we've historically and traditionally done in Topsham. And I have a problem with that. Especially when it's been something I've been against my entire time, and this happens to be my very last meeting after 12 years. I've got to go out and live like this, so I'm not happy about it. Everything to the public, I will say, is above board, and there's a need for it, and the timing of it is what it is. But I am certainly not a fan of this, and any repercussions that may come, that it looks like that we're doing things differently than we have in the past, because we are. But nothing is being done deceitfully. Everything's following the rules by statute and such, but so that's just my statement. Anyone else got comments? We can make a motion. Somewhere it's in here. You know where it was.
I move
Thank you. Yes, yes.
that we approve and sign the November 2nd, 2023 special town meeting warrant.
Second. Motion seconded. All those in favor? Yes. Matt?
Oh, goodness. Motion to adjourn.
Second?